Charles Leclerc exploded on the radio at Imola 2025, calling Formula One rules a complete joke. Max Verstappen agrees, and the controversy is brewing. Are the new guidelines killing real racing? Let's dissect this paddock-agitating spat and find out if F1 is becoming a game of rules or a battle on the track. Hey, Speed Fanatics, welcome! Every day at noon and 7 p.m., you'll get all the news from the world of Formula One. And for Scuderia enthusiasts, at 6 p.m. there's an exclusive video about Ferrari, featuring the latest from Hamilton and Leclerc, or a legendary story that made history. Don't miss anything, subscribe and hit the bell. Today we're bringing you a video that will ignite the debate. At the 2025 Imola GP, Charles Leclerc couldn't take it anymore and vented on the radio. This is a complete joke. He was talking about Formula One's new driving rules, which, according to him, are hindering on-track battles. And guess who's on his side? Max Verstappen, the guy who won the race. Are these rules stripping away F1's essence, or are the drivers overreacting with their complaints? So let's go, Fanatics. Buckle up and come with me to dive into this hot topic, the Imola incident and driver frustration. Let's get to the facts. The Imola GP was a show of speed, but also of frustration. Max Verstappen from Red Bull crossed the finish line first, with Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri from McLaren completing the podium, but Charles Leclerc from Ferrari finished outside the top three. And the reason? A battle with Alexander Albon from Williams, which ended with Leclerc letting his competitor pass him to avoid a penalty. On the radio, he let it all out. This is a complete joke, and he's not the only one irritated. Verstappen, who had already called the rules over the top, said they are preventing real racing. Folks, when two champions like Leclerc and Verstappen are on the same page, it means things are serious. So what's happening? Are F1 rules really becoming a problem? Leave your opinion in the comments, because this debate is heating up. The intent versus reality of new driving guidelines. Formula One's new driving guidelines were created to make wheel-to-wheel battles clearer. The idea was good: avoid dangerous maneuvers, ensure safety, and maintain fair competition. But in practice, it's becoming a headache. Leclerc explained it perfectly. We're driving at 250 kilometers per hour, and we're trying to play by the rules. Imagine the scene. You're in the heat of battle, braking at the limit, in Tamburello, and instead of focusing on the overtake, you're thinking if you're going to get a 5-second penalty. In Imola, Leclerc was battling Albon, and ended up yielding the position to avoid being penalized. He said the rules are very difficult to judge, and that drivers are becoming obsessed with them. So, Fanatics, do you think the rules are taking the excitement out of F1, or are the drivers just wanting total freedom? Send in your 2 cents in the comments, because F1 Fanatics wants to know. Verstappen's agreement and the consistency issue. Verstappen, who won in Imola, isn't happy either. He had already criticized the guidelines before, saying they are over the top and are turning F1 into a game for lawyers. In Imola, he proved he can win even with the rules, but agreed with Leclerc. There's a lack of consistency. Like, one moment stewards penalize a maneuver, another moment they let something similar slide. Leclerc went further and said, "We'll never please everyone with these rules." And is he right? Or are the drivers complaining for nothing? Just think. Formula One has always been about risky overtakes, epic duels, like Senna and Prost in Suzuka. Are these rules killing that essence? Tell us below what you think, because this conversation is hot. Inside the race, Leclerc's frustration and Russell's complaints. Now, let me take you inside the race. In Imola, Leclerc was battling Albon at Variante Alta, a treacherous corner where any mistake is costly. He tried to defend the position, but to avoid a penalty, he ended up letting Albon pass. On the radio, frustration erupted. This is a joke, and he's not alone. Other drivers like George Russell also complained in Imola. Russell was annoyed with Oscar Piastri braking too early, and said the rules are creating confusing situations. So folks, is Formula One becoming a sport where regulations dictate more than talent? Or are these rules necessary to maintain safety? Leave your opinion in the comments, because this debate is boiling. The ongoing controversy and future implications. This controversy isn't new. Ever since the driving guidelines were updated, drivers have been harping on the same point: lack of clarity. In Imola, Ferrari was already struggling. Qualifying was a disaster, with Leclerc outside the top 5 and Hamilton fighting to reach the podium. Then, in the race, these rules only worsened the situation. Leclerc said drivers are always playing with the rules, trying to find loopholes to avoid being penalized. And is that real racing? Or is it becoming a game of legal strategy? Think with me. F1 is about speed, courage, and instinct. But with these rules, it seems drivers are more concerned with what the stewards will say than with the finish line. What do you think? Is F1 losing its thrill, or are rules the price of safety? Send in your guess, because F1 Fanatics wants this debate to be on fire. With Monaco approaching, the tension only increases. Monaco is a track where every millimeter counts, and wheel-to-wheel battles are even more intense. If the rules already caused confusion in Imola, imagine on the streets of Monte Carlo. Leclerc and Verstappen are asking for consistency, but will the FIA listen? Or will we see more drivers yielding positions to avoid penalties? And another thing, will Ferrari, already struggling with poor qualifying, manage to recover in Monaco? Or will Red Bull and McLaren continue to dominate? Tell us below, what's your prediction for the next GP? And who's right in this dispute, the drivers or the FIA? Leave it in the comments, because this conversation is red hot. Before we wrap up, a final provocation. Are Formula One rules killing the excitement of racing? Or are they what keeps F1 fair and safe? And furthermore, who will shine in Monaco? Leclerc, who races at home? Verstappen, who's flying? Or perhaps another name, like Lando Norris? Tell us below which driver is impressing you the most, and what your prediction is for the next GP. And don't forget the message. If you enjoyed this analysis, hit that like button, subscribe to F1 Fanatics, and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. Share it with folks who love Formula One, because F1 Fanatics is bringing you all the hot content. Until next time, Fanatics, let's go.